All right, I'm gonna try something new. I'm gonna do a notes video this time for a movie and a book, because I've been doing notes videos for just books. So the first is a 2000 film, Running the Sahara, a documentary style movie about 3 dudes who run across the Sahara Desert, roughly southwest to northeast. And then the second is going to be Running Man, a memoir by Charlie Engle, which is just, I guess, Running Man by Charlie Engle. And Charlie Engle is one of the guys who made the run across the Sahara Desert. And so, I've not done this format before. I found I read this book last year, 2022, at the end of July 2022. And I found it as part of a King County Library System scavenger hunt. I'll link to that playlist in the video description, as well as my movie and book lists playlist, as well as my Lucky Wallaby Courier playlist, which is this writing and stuff kind of come in going back and providing notes and comments. So I guess this is a notes / comments on these 2 items. Yes, for a book I read last year, and a movie I watched last year, and then I watched it again this year. And yeah, they're actually the same copies. So this is the Shoreline Library copy of this book, which is the one I read last year, 2022. And this is the same. There's only one copy of this in the King County Library System. So same copy of the central storage of the movie. All right, so that's some background. These are both library items. I checked them out. Running the Sahara. Let's start with my notes and comments on this movie. So I started running in January 2006, and it covers what, a 2007 run. And I was running track and field for Shorewood High School in 2007. So this was like, I did pool swimming and stuff, and pool swimmers had no idea, right? They were all focused on the Olympic Games or World Aquatics Championships or yada, yada, yada. And so I was a runner, so I was tuned into this, and I was aware of this as it happened, the run across the Sahara Desert. There was a bit of concern about there would be kind of villainization of certain runners or dramatization, kind of the lookalikes or Second Life approach of having somebody stand in the movie that isn't actually the person. The runners took their own like camcorders, video recorders, and took footage, but that's like sparse in this. And I think that's the original footage, but they used lookalikes a lot, so they'd have people stand in for the actual people for the filming. And so, and that was talked about socially within the running community as it was happening, was like, why can't it just be the footage that the runners collected, the real stuff, the non-fiction stuff? Why can't Hollywood make a non-fiction documentary? You know? So there was a bit of frustration. So the movie wasn't as much of a hit in the running community as it could have been had they chosen the non-fiction path. I mean, yeah. And it focuses a bit, perhaps too much, on like politics and stuff like that. There's a lot of logistics that go into running. I think the kind of production side of this, like the Hollywood side, like Matt Damon was involved and stuff like that. Clearly they're not runners, right? As a runner, I watch this and I go, well, it definitely takes a political slant and bias on something that would have been very cool to get more of the logistics about. So let's, I guess, more of comments, any notes. Well, I guess those are notes. I suppose like our notes would be like in making, so I watched this 2022, and then I watched it again before filming since Tuesday, this past week, and today is Saturday, 9 September 2023. The interviews of the people, whether it's them or a lookalike or a Second Life or computer generated imagery, which is really common these days, kind of in all movies from the Hollywood arena. Right, like if somebody doesn't have a significant other, but and that was part of it. There was concern about some of these people, how distorted their personal lives were, So I guess that's my note is, or my notes was, like, in watching it, how severely tampered with were these people's real personal lives just to make it, like, palatable to the elite who might view the movie. Kind of thing. Like, one of the guy did drugs and stuff, and so they wanted to cover it up, and they said he was, like, sober, and they gave him a fake wife, and they gave him, like, fake girlfriends and fake kids, and there was, like, a lot of that happened, in the running community was aware of that, and so there's, like, it's kind of painful to watch in that sense of, like, it would have been nice to know the runners' true stories as opposed to what Hollywood wanted. Like, the control freaks of Hollywood and control freaks of politicians who, like, want to distort this run to be something it wasn't. Yeah. So I actually got around to watching it, right? And I've heard about this, and when I lived in South Africa, actually, all interest, the villainization of Charlie Engle at the end of the run as they're approaching the end in Egypt is, like, something that has propagated socially outside of the running community. So, like, the reputation of that villainization in this movie, whether it happened in real life or not, yeah, is an interesting one. So, and that one was a very lively debate when I lived in South Africa, by non-runners, or people who didn't have, like, who did not, maybe not non-runners, but people who did not necessarily identify as runners at the time. Okay. So that's the movie. I finally got around to seeing it after hearing about the run at the time and some of the logistics of that, and then having experience with the, like, legacy of the movie, so to speak. Then up next is Running Man. So this is 2016, 2007, 2008, 2007. This is 2016 hardcover. Is it First Scribner? It's First Scribner edition, September 2016 hardcover. So this guy takes, I don't know if he wrote it or somebody else wrote it or he wrote part of it. It reads the first 2/3, so my notes are, it reads really well the first, like, 2/3 of the book, and then the writing style changes a little bit and it's not quite so readable. It very much comes across as, like, written by somebody who's filled out a bunch of applications to do a bunch of the stuff he's done, and then that writing either was incorporated into the text of the book or, like, that writing style was used to write the book. Okay. I've done a lot of applications and stuff, and the writing style I reckon, and I've done peer editing and been, like, co-worker or classmate editing, you know, kind of thing. So I was like, okay, I identified that writing style. It was very reasonable. It was probably the best book I've read recently. The fake personal life stuff is brought up. That's pretty common, though, fake personal lives being brought up in biographies and autobiographies to date, 9 September 2023, by a lot of, like, big deal people. I think if my Math Olympiad experience is any indicator, it's, like, largely not the choice of the individual. So I kind of wonder if he, like, wrote this with the help of the other two runners, or at least one of the other runners, to be like, I can't write this because this relationship wasn't real, but they're gonna paint it like that, so we want to include it in the book like that. I don't know. People, I think perhaps a profound one for impersonal interaction. So this guy did, like, Charlie Engle, and he's very transparent about it. His experiences doing, like, meth and was it cocaine and crack and stuff, but not using prostitutes. I really don't care necessarily what a person's drug habits are, so long as they don't force them on me. Okay, so, like, if somebody, I've had friends who do LSD and crack and cocaine and smoke a bunch of weed, and I've known drug dealers. Just don't make me do it, right? I don't judge them for it. I'm like, it's their choice, right? It's their, I hope it's their money, right? Like, that kind of thing. Also, a lot of respect for Charlie Engle in doing, so I'm a middle distance runner, so it's kind of like, and he's an ultra marathon runner, and how to put this, my maximum distance would be like a half marathon and not in race form. So this guy goes out and runs like hundreds, maybe, you know, in this case, like running the Sahara, thousands of miles, right? No, that is not for me. Yes, no. Okay, so like, there's mad respect. I enjoy reading books like this because I get to learn about something that I would not do, kind of thing. So, yeah. I think for a lot of these kind of personal life stuff, whether or not it's the case, right? Like, I've heard about that, at least Charlie Engle specifically was people decided to take him on a smear campaign because they thought he deserved it because he did drugs and he didn't care about his personal life, so they tacked on a bunch of fake kids and women and stuff. And that's included in the book. I don't know, right? That's stuff I've heard, right, through the running community, because people are like, well, then I don't want to run fast because what if that happens to me? And I'm like, I already had that happen to me at the Olympiads as a 10-year-old, you know, kind of thing. Okay, and so there was like, why are there so few people of European descent at the top and running right now? We care about our family and we don't want fake misinformation about our personal lives, and that's going to happen anyway because who's at the top and you know, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, well, so then find a new path forward, right? Just not the Olympic Games. Anyway, so it's an interesting one like that, right? So far as I know, I have not met Charlie Engle, so I haven't had a sit-down discussion with him. But if it's a like case of people stepping in and want taking control of this person's life, then they just use a look-alike, right? That's Hollywood style. Use a look-alike, or what is it, Second Lifers, the in-person Second Lifers, where they send in somebody to take over somebody else's life. And is a community I am not part of, so I'm not privy to, but that's my notes and comments. Is like, if you do drugs, just please don't put people at risk, you know? Please don't try and force that on me, you know? I respect you as a human being, and I'm not going to tell you not to do something, except for like, please don't kill yourself, because I had a friend who killed herself by overdose when I was in high school, and she was on my swim team, stuff like that. Like, no, we like you, okay? Please don't kill yourself. So like, see, like, I like Charlie Engle. There's an example, okay? So those are my notes and comments for the book. So in conclusion, it's a different format. It's my first time doing this adjoined. These are, right, the book covers this run, so like, it's not based on the movie, but it's these things they overlap, okay? So trying a joined movie and book notes format. Lucky Wallaby Courier writing. Well, I gave it a try, at least. Ha ha. Happy Saturday. As of filming this, City of Shoreline, King County, Washington State, United States of America, planet Earth, the original, Saturday, 9 September 2023.